We're in Berlin to create a giant self-portrait from 1,000 kisses in 24 hours, before destroying it in the name of love.
Welcome to Berlin, James.
Loving Berlin.
Kicking off in the heart of Gold Hostel, I covered the plan for James. All 24 locations would be laid across a heart-shaped route, tracing the history of love and art across the city.
Like a heart.
See, the title of this piece is You Make Your Own Bed, and it contains 3 distinct sections. Creating the artwork in 24 hours with those 1,000 lipstick kisses, displaying it in busy public spaces with a closing ceremonial poem, then kicking the f***ing shit out of it before returning to our accommodation, telling myself I love you. So to avoid paying £20,000 to take this on our Ryanair flight, we headed to Peter's art shop to pick up the canvas in person, carefully selecting the softest material possible.
Ooh,
Isn't that good?
it's proper good.
Back in Wrexham, I'd been carrying out extensive tests, puckering up with various lipsticks and canvases. I quickly discovered that this was an easy way to cut your lips and make a bloody mess.
Oh my god, look at my finger.
This led to 2 rules for surviving the performance. Use chapstick in between kissing, and buy the softest canvas possible.
That's it. Give it the pout.
But as well as protecting my lips, I needed to make sure that the lipstick would actually transfer, which bizarrely seemed to be best on the back of our favourite canvas.
Is it stupid to do it the other way?
Peter sagt alles gut, so we flashed the cash.
It was 80 something euros.
And with the canvas now ordered, we headed across town to pick it up.
For some reason, they don't build it on
In
site.
we go.
So this is Peter's, but it's Peter's the warehouse.
Oh no, it's there.
And there in all its 6'1" glory it stood, our beautiful companion for this artistic journey.
Here we go.
It's like the door to Narnia.
Which is when we immediately encountered our first problem. Taking the thing on public transport.
I'm not going down the lift, are we? It's not going to fit in the bloody lift. Oh, Jesus, stairs.
Oh, I think it would.
Let's just say it would be the first of many challenges ahead of us.
I feel like James Bond.
Why?
Just like when he runs up the crane.
And now with everything in place, we settled down for one final night in the hostel before beginning our challenge. On a beautiful sunny morning in West Berlin, we made our way across to the starting location of the original Love Parade Festival, which ran in the city from 1989 to 2007.
Very first one. Here we go. I'm going to need to take that hat off.
And just like that, we were off.
Am I being covered in lipstick right now?
You are.
With the first location checked off, I mentally checked myself in to looking like a clown for the rest of the day.
I'm not going to take it off.
Broken Chain Sculpture, the Contemporary Fine Art Institute and Theater des Westens were checked off with ease until we hit Berlin Zoo, where we had our first brush with the authorities.
Hello? Sprechen Sie English?
English.
Great.
That's not allowed here.
Oh, is it not?
No.
Which bit did he say we can start on? We've moved.
Well done, Berlin Zoo guy.
Despite the Jurassic pushback from the zoo, for many people Berlin remains the performance art capital of the world, linking back to the 1960s, where the development of key movements such as Fluxus and artists including Joseph Beuys helped solidify its place, reshaping the very idea of art, where the act of creation itself could be just as important as any product. But we still needed to get that product right.
We're going to start the pink one now.
See, back in Wrexham, myself and Owen had been heavily debating just how to create a self-portrait from kisses. Our initial tests with a sort of paint-by-numbers technique didn't quite work out as they left too much space to show any real definition. After a conversation with my cousin Mike, I was convinced to try out a high-contrast single-colour solution instead. So I took a bunch of photos with harsh lighting, then used a projector to sketch this out in pencil before trying it out with the Lippy. This proved to be much more successful, but when scaled up to 6 foot, faces just don't fit so well. We needed one more design tweak that would complement and add to the theme, and that's when it hit me. The final design would feature 2 Robs, opposite each other like a playing card, in 2 classic lipstick colours, red and pink.
Every time I bought lipstick, every person at every shop said the same thing. It was like, oh, I've got to make sure I've got to buy different colours to test that it goes on the canvas properly because I'm doing this painting. And they all go, we don't mind what you're doing with it. I'm painting.
As we continued the performance into increasingly touristic areas, we began to draw a little bit of a crowd for the first time.
I can't believe giraffes are real. Like, if you heard about giraffes, you'd honestly think they were made up. And well, they're big, yellow, got blue tongue. Like, what? What are you on about?
They think you're a performance artist.
People will go home and they will say, you won't guess what I saw today.
Saw some bloke.
Yeah.
He looked English.
Looked English, what was he carrying a Greggs?
Making such a personal piece of art in such a public way felt overwhelmingly brash yet vulnerable all at the same time. We were diving headfirst into new territory, Berlin the backdrop of our exploration of the confidence, embarrassment, beauty and torture of intimacy. It was everything I wanted. Although, when people were taking photos and ran straight into the gallery afterwards, I did have other concerns.
It looks like he nicked it. Looks like he just walked out with it.
It does.
Passing the halfway mark with the sun setting beautifully, I took a moment to assess my technique.
Kind of using my bottom lip as a blotter, like a f***ing bingo blotter. But like the f***ing least accurate bingo blotter that ever existed. One stamp when you're shouting house.
As we began to enter the east side of the heart, I would be taking on some intricate sections of the portrait, including the eyes and other elements that honestly, if I messed up slightly, it was game over.
Certainly not bad.
Outside the Kino International, I took on my first eye and chin, resulting in my first error.
That.
Deep breaths as we entered one of the most anxiety-inducing places on planet Earth, the queuing area for Berghain.
You think you would get in here?
Of course.
Europe's most notorious nightclub, no match for the confidence of a middle-aged man in brand new Adidas trainers.
Adidas Samba, shoe of the summer.
Rocking and rolling, we made our way to the Love and Hate sculpture, the East Side Gallery, and then, deep into the night, we encountered our very first rave.
I like to party. I came to Berlin, I saw people partying. I thought to myself,
Techno, 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 techno.
James never went to the Hacienda.
I never.
From the rave via Kreuzberg train station and down to Victoria Park, somewhere around 5 AM, our extreme tiredness had transformed into drunk giddiness.
Ausstieg rechts. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
James has had 4 beers and 4 shots.
I have. Rob's had 1 shot.
The main body of the... I have had a shot.
Ironically, he's got 1 shot of this.
Oh, it's not even on. It wasn't even on. He wasn't recording.
No.
He wasn't recording it.
And the giddiness continued past Willie Cressman Stadium,
I got world's bluest finger.
And nose.
Back to you in the studio.
the former site of Berlin Airport, and David Bowie's Berlin flat.
Turn to the left. Turn to the right. David Bowie went through this door. This door. If he came out while we were doing this, he'd be like, oh, very nice. Would you mind moving though? Starman. Bang, and the dirt is gone. What was that guy's name again? Barry Scott.
Finally, back on the road where the love parade started, we completed our heart, and with a final kiss on each cheek next to the Berlin Buddy Bears, I lay down. My performance art heroes, including Joseph Beuys, often used elements of their real lives inside their work. A year ago, I spent a restless night in a single bed, night dreaming of how I could have easily avoided my misery. I'd made my own bed, with my own actions, a reflection of myself at my most vulnerable. And now, with that metaphor realised, I was mostly thinking, how long can I spend in a real bed because I'm f***ing knackered, mate. Reeling from exhaustion and with some of us nursing a hangover, we powered through, made our way back into the city for the next part of the process, exhibition. Heading back to key locations, we publicly displayed the painting at Alexanderplatz, Berlin Cathedral, and finally, the Brandenberg Gate, where it was time to move to the final stage, the poem and the destruction.
Nine Danke. I'm sorry, the sound of my heart breaking is softer than the silence of you revealing how you really feel. This is the opening line of my poem, and in its attempt at brevity and simplicity, it falls slightly short of the mark, as efforts at honest communication often do. The second line is conversational, more open. The third is explanatory. The fourth ties a knot. I'm not sure where I wanted to be, but I'm certain it's not exactly where I've ended up. The third and final section of the poem will be created by us, whispering a single word to each other. I ask that you keep the word that you speak for your lips only, and the word that you hear inside your heart. Together we understand everything unspoken. Separately, we will hold a little piece of this moment.
And as we whispered to each other that sunny day in Berlin, safe in the knowledge that no one would ever really know the end of the poem, we packed up the exhibition and made our way over to the original site of Gallery René Bloch, the beating heart of Berlin performance art, and home of the one and only Berlin exhibition by Joseph Beuys.
Just stop for a sec. We've made it to the end of the line. In 1979, the original gallery closed with the exhibition Ja, jetzt brechen wir hier den Scheiß ab. Yes, so here we will break some shit. Which I think seems quite appropriate.
Let's break shit up.
As I took one final look at what we'd made, I hesitated. Maybe we should stop here, hang it up in a nice frame, look at it and have a cup of tea, relax. Maybe I'm not relaxed. Maybe I'm upset. Maybe I'm angry. Maybe sometimes you go through hell, you do something really difficult and open up just to have it all wrecked right in front of you in an instant. And sure, maybe by revealing yourself, that reflection, that heartbreak, that grief is the cost of growing, developing, and I don't know, maybe feeling like an actual human being. But if the act of creation is more important than the product itself, maybe for me right now, destruction is too. So fuck it.
I love you.